score. The Cowboys are eliminated because of what happened last night in D.C. Eagles offense started slow in the first half, and then, Alex, in the third quarter, they got it going.
Yeah, this was a ridiculous throw and catch. They got this ball all the way down to 1, ended up backing up, but obviously a big clutch play here to take the lead.
Eagles fought 14-10. Now, fourth quarter, Randy, this is what everyone has been waiting for, Saquon Barkley.
Man, who started the show last year? Saquon Barkley. Well, give it to him this year, and the one thing about it, strike up the band. Run, Eagles, run. There it is, Greeny.
He wasn't done, Teddy. Look at more from Barkley looking like vintage Saquon.
It's this late in the season. He's looking healthy, look like he's moving. The Eagles get this going. It's a big if. It's a big if, but the Eagles look good last night.
He had 132 yards rushing, and then, Rex, you love this Tank Bigsby.
Empty the tank, Bigsby right here. Look at him right there. God!
So that puts them up 27-10 with 4 minutes and change left, and the Eagles go for the 2. The Commanders don't seem to appreciate it. What do we think of this
You know
decision?
what? I don't appreciate how horrendous the Commanders' defense is.
What don't you appreciate?
We don't. Woody Hayes once famously said, "Why'd you go for the 2? Because they wouldn't let us go for 3." There were some analytics reasons,
Yes.
I guess, to go for it there for Nick Sirianni.
This is just a chart, right? They've got a chart on the sideline or up in the booth, and it's like, hey, the score's this. You go for 2. I mean, they weren't trying to make a statement there. They were up double digits, right? What more of a statement do they need to make?
Okay, so then let's talk about what statement they did actually make on the field. Are we now sold on the Eagles' offense that it is moving in the direction it will need to for them to have a real chance to defend their Super Bowl title?
It's a bad defense they're going up against last night.
Right.
Okay, and truthfully, Alex mentioned it in the highlight, that 3rd and 1, this tush-push may be done. And that is huge for the Philadelphia Eagles if that's not their go-to anymore for 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1. They stopped it twice. They stopped it once. There's a false start penalty because the officials now, they're on it. I think, well, good job to the officials. I think we criticize them so much, but they saw the false start. They're calling it. And now this play is not as guaranteed as it was. And they're a huge part of this team.
Yeah. I mean, really, the explosive runs were, I mean, this is the signature from last year, right? This offense had so many big, obviously explosive plays. It really helps them, obviously, produce points. That's been missing this year. It showed up yesterday. Can they sustain it is the big question.
I just think all of the talk all season about the pass catchers for the Philadelphia Eagles, between Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown, 20 targets, 12 for A.J., 8 for Devontae. You're talking about going forward the month of December, going into the playoffs, get the wide receivers started. I like it, Greeny.
I mean, and the wide receivers are much better when the running game's going. And I know that kind of sounds like it's contradicting, but it's not. Because when you get that running game going, you stay ahead of the sticks. The defense has to defend you differently, and that allows those one-on-one opportunities with those wideouts.
You have to say bad defense in
Bad
Washington.
defense stinks.
They've got the division, so they can play the next few weeks the way they can have a bye week.
Yeah.
I mean, a makeshift bye week. They're not going to get the number 1 seed bye, but players know that 18th week, I probably won't be playing, coach, and a lot of them will be rested.
Real quick, you're talking about the 18th week for Philadelphia defending their championship. Hey, man, they might lose their mojo because right now they're not playing well. So maybe they might need to play that last week.
I think they're going to play, and Dan Quinn, boy, I tell you, he's going to have his team ready to go. Unfortunately, they haven't been ready to play defense all season, and I love it like, hey, we'll play you in 2 weeks. Philly's like, can we play it next week? This team stinks on defense, man. I'm sorry, but like, oh, that's a threat. You haven't stopped anybody all season. This team stinks.
They're going to be in baseball hats watching them on the field. A lot of these players for the Eagles in Week 18.
Eagles will likely be either the 2 or the 3 seed in the NFC because it finally happened. This was a streak that was old enough to drink. It was 21 years since the last time a team repeated as a division champ in the NFC East. Eagles have now actually won 3 of the last 4 NFC titles going back to 2022. So they win the division. From the NFC East, we take a look at the overall NFC playoff picture, and this includes the Seahawks' big win on Thursday night. So look where everyone sits. Seattle right now is the 1 seed. The Bears sliding in at 2. Eagles right on their heels. And that Rams team that so many people think might be the best team in football, very likely going to have to go on the road and win 3 times in Evan Kaplan. And look, this is such an enormous game today in Denver. And so let's talk about what is on the line, in particular for the visiting Jaguars.
Yeah, so much on the line, Grady, with 3 weeks to go. And they have a 1-game lead on the Texans in the AFC South. We're going to break this down using our playoff predictor. Entering today, 58% chance for the Jaguars to win this division. But look at these last 3 games. At the Broncos, at the Colts, home for the Titans. This is the only one today where they have less than a 50% chance to win. So we're going to show you how this changes with a win or loss for the Jaguars. If they win in Denver, up to 79% to win the division. Then if they won their last 2 divisional games, they would be the AFC South champ. Look at how that number, focus on 79%. Look at how that changes with a loss, all the way down to 42%. And keep in mind, the Texans are a 2-touchdown favorite today against the Raiders. If they win, all of a sudden, Jaguars are under 40% to win the division. So a massive opportunity today in Denver, but not a lot of margin for error for this Jacksonville team.
And look, they're being led by a quarterback who came into the league with as much fanfare as pretty much any in recent memory, and just recently is starting to play that way. What specifically has been working?
Yeah, he's doing a lot of things well, Greeny, during this 5-game win streak. But we're going to focus on plays with motion at the snap. This is something Liam Cohen really likes doing, 8th highest rate in the league in terms of motion at the snap. And Trevor Lawrence struggled earlier in the season. You look at the first 9 games, completed 57% of his passes in those situations. Second lowest in the NFL. His QBR was 36 on those plays. But during the win streak over the last 5 games, he's up to 70% completion. His QBR is 85 with a player moving at the snap. That is second highest in the NFL. And as I said, this is something Liam Cohen likes doing. And because Trevor Lawrence is doing it better, kind of doing it more. Last week, 47% of the Jaguars' plays and motion at the snap, their highest rate over the last 2 seasons.
And he had the best performance of his career by a wide margin. Cap, outstanding. And so as we take a look at that, what that tells us, Alex, and motion is obviously something that so many of the quarterbacks are using effectively. But in the case of Lawrence and Jacksonville this year, it's been sort of a work in progress.
It has been, and Cap's spot on. Listen, Liam Cohen loves to utilize shifts in motion pre-snap to create an advantage. It's a complex system, and it has been a process. Take a listen to what his head coach had to say about his QB.
The pre-snap operation has definitely settled, I would say, for him. In terms of the motion shifts, there's a lot going on. Well, that, I think, has chilled out for him and allowed him to just go play.
All right, this is earlier in the season. This is what Coach Cohen's talking about. We got double shifts in motions. That's cheating. That's illegal. There's the flag, Teddy. Again, week 2, they have more illegal shifts in motions than anybody in the NFL. Again, it's a disaster. Nobody's open.
That's
We're
no
third
chill.
the ball.
That's no chill.
Again, moving back 5 yards. All right, well, they've stayed with it. This is last week. Again, week 15. Here we are, pre-snap. We're going to bring a receiver over in motion, right? Hut, hut, hut. We're getting a free look. Again, we see the Jets in cover 3, Teddy. So guess what? We're not going to run the ball into a loaded box. We're going to check the play to a cover 3 beater. Again, bring our receiver back over. A lot of moving parts, right?
I see you,
Look
Trev.
at the command Trevor has, a field general here. The irony is the Jets say, hey, I see your check. I'm going to match it. They check out into cover 4. Trevor Lawrence doesn't care. This guy's playing with a lot of conviction and confidence right now. We got a little curl flat down here. We see the linebacker run on the flat route. Doesn't matter, they got 2 defenders. No defense for a perfect throw. And we rip this in there. Again, the confidence and speed that he's playing with. And this one right here, Ted, you want to talk about emotion? Check this one out. We got 2 running backs on the field. That's Travis Etienne up top. Watch this motion as we bring him here in the red zone all the way across the ball. We're coming back around for the orbit motion, right? No, we're not. We're coming back out this way because here comes the swing pass, right? Defense takes the bait. No, it's not. We're coming around here for the over post, right to Tim Patrick. No, we're not going there either. Again, Trevor Lawrence seeing it. We slip 2 now into the seam. This great play design, right? Again, by Liam Cohen. Trevor Lawrence really operating it with a ton of confidence. Listen, that's a designer play there in the red zone, right? Trevor had to make sure they had the right defense for the right look. He nails it, executes it. 6 touchdowns last week, 5 passing, 1 running. Best game of his career. But a huge, huge test today, going to Denver, one of the best defenses in the NFL.
That last play impressed you. I can
That's
tell.
a lot of eye candy with linebackers looking at multiple backs and shifts in motion. It's tough, very difficult.
Let's go to another big game today. We got the Steelers and the Lions, who will go